Hi, you were watching Mintship LOL. I'm Mintship, you're you, and today we're going to be talking about MMO news. Hey guys, it's me. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about some of the MMO news that is this week. So let's get right into it. First up, I want to talk about Loadout, which is a new first-person shooter from Edge of Reality, which were the development team behind Mass Effect for PS3, Dragon Age Origins for PS3 and Xbox 360. I can't remember. The draw to Loadout is that your class isn't defined by what you pick, it's defined by your weapons, and you can fully customize your weapons. They said something like 50 million bajillion different loadout ways that you can loadout. See what I did there? Different ways that you can customize and create your weapon. So there's a lot of freedom there. There are like 4 PvP modes, and freetoplay.com got an exclusive look at the gameplay and everything, so if you want to go and check that out, you should. Also, if you're looking to play it, we are giving away 5,000 beta keys. We're down to 2,000, so if you want to play, please go to the link below and get your beta keys so you can try it. Let me know what you think. The game is pretty humorous and it reminds me a bit of like Team Fortress 2. Alright, next up I want to show you this game called Kartuga from Inno Games, one of those two ways. It's a browser-based MMORPG, but it looks fantastic. Now, from what I can tell, you play your little ship and you kind of float around and do quests and stuff. I am going to play this game. Like, it's a browser-based game, it's going to be, I don't know. I really love how it looks and I really want to try it, because just even like how you move around and stuff looks really neat. I mean, just look at it. These two ships fighting each other.
And a special quest type that I would like to introduce to you is destroying an elite. Elite enemies have unique names like Gondom the Shipwrecker, or in that case Joffrey, who I'm fighting here right now, and they are very powerful, very hard to destroy. As you can see here, I'm done. Next try, and they're also able to use skills. They can not only be encountered via quests, but they also roam the PvE world for everybody to be challenged, if they dare.
How cool was that? Exactly. Very cool. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It's actually one of the interesting things is that it's using the Unreal Engine 3, which is pretty cool for a browser-based MMO. So pretty impressive, pretty impressive. DC Universe Online announced their new DLC pack. There's going to be new high-tier iconic gear, a new power set called Quantum, a new storyline, Origin Crisis. It's going to send you through all these alternate realities with either Batman or like Lex Luthor to do various supervillainy or superhero-y things. I played DCU Online, and I really liked it. I bought like a bunch of the DLCs and I really enjoyed that as well. I think that game doesn't really feel like a free-to-play game, at least for me, or at least back when I played. I mean, there's been some talk, people have been like, oh, you know, it's not as good anymore, but I don't know. I really liked it. If you do go and play, you should make sure that you leave a window of time to create your hero, because I think I spent about 17 hours making my my character, which is pretty embarrassing. Alright, there's been a closed beta announcement for this game called Prime World, which looks really cool. Cool. It's like an RPG MOBA. Now, I am not sure what that means. Basically, well, what they kind of say it is it's like a MOBA, but then you have a persistent world outside of it, and you can play with your friends, and you can do, make clans or something so that you can play with them. I'm not really sure what that all means per se. I definitely would have to play the game myself. It looks really good. The graphics look really nice. I'd love to see how it is. I'd love to see how they have different like PvP-ish modes, so these like battle arenas. I'm assuming it's going to be sort of like how League is. Like, I know there are different modes in League, and so that could really work. I'm not really sure how they're making it like a persistent game. But also I'm kind of like worried that the new thing are MOBAs. You know how like every day there's like new MMOs that are coming out. And that's great, obviously. Every week I always have something new to talk about in this video, and that's, you know, it's like disheartening, but at the same time very interesting that these things can just keep coming out and actually have like a market for them. But I'm worried that like MOBA is going to be that new thing that people just kind of tack on to anything that they make in order to be like, oh yeah, people like MOBAs, let's make thousands of them, you know? So we'll see. Speaking of games that I've been really excited for, Age of Wushu is now live. I think on the 23rd they're actually selling retail stuff, but I think it's a free-to-play game, and they just had this neat advert with Jet Li, which is a little weird. I don't know if he's really relevant at the moment, but I've loved his movies. Like, all of them. They're fantastic, especially the old Chinese ones. Like, I don't mean, like, the American ones with Jet Li. I mean, those are okay, but yeah. So
15 million players endorsed by Jet Li. Age of Wushu.
这是你的江湖.
That's really cool. I'm definitely going to play that game. God, I have 2 games that I want to install. I just installed Marvel Heroes, which I'm really excited. I've been playing that a little bit, and I really enjoy it. I really want to play Age of Wushu. I really want to play Final Fantasy XIV. I really want to play pretty much every game. And then I just started my World of Warcraft account again. Got that back. It was, remember last time I talked about how I wasn't able to get it, but then I actually was able to get it. So that's awesome. So I've been just starting that up a little bit and just been playing like really passively. Only like a couple days this week at all, I think, for a couple hours, which was humbling. And last week I asked you what you guys thought of free-to-play games just in general, if you liked them, if you liked subscription-based games better, and I thought I would go ahead and go over some of the answers that I thought were kind of interesting. I read every answer that you guys gave, and I really loved, like, a lot of them. Some of them were really long, and I really loved that. Like, there are so many, not necessarily differing opinions. It's like almost we all kind of come to a similar opinion about it, but at the same time, it's like we understand like the sort of limitations that gaming companies have to do. Croto123 said, I liked subscription games because those were the only ones with good content back in the day, but with free-to-play being regarded as the best deal for developers, they make more money with microtransactions. Every MMO should be free-to-play now. I absolutely agree. It's like the free-to-play model works really well for people, and I feel for the developers. For people in the sense that we get to pay for what we use. Now, I know it's hard to wrap your mind around it, but when you're paying $15 a month for a game, you're paying for every feature in that game. Even features you don't use. For example, in World of Warcraft, I don't play the pet battles very much, and I don't do a lot of the content, and I don't play a bunch of different classes, and I don't use a lot of the space. All of that stuff, right? But I'm still paying $15 a month. Now, come into another game where I get to maybe pay $4 a month tops, where I'm getting the features that I'm using all of the time. I find that very, like, convenient, but at the same time, it's not always presented in a very easy to understand way. And yeah, so then the next person, Zanman, says, about free-to-play, I do like the idea, but it seems most free-to-play end up being pay to win, and I hate that aspect about free-to-play games. I agree with that as well. This pay-to-win thing, it's like Aladdin Online, where they sort of created problems that you needed to buy things for in order to beat the problems that they would themselves create. And that does create a sort of situation where in order to defeat bosses or move through the game, you had to pay real money. And that's not cool, I think. I think that sort of way of being is wrong in the whole free-to-play thing. It's just evil. Okay. Corpeter said, I prefer a subscription fee over being able to buy items that give stats because those items will let you buy skill in the game, making you better than others without effort. Now, this is a little bit of a misconception. Not a lot, like very few free-to-play games let you purchase things with stats. Straight up. Some do, so I understand what you're saying. But I absolutely agree about preferring a subscription fee because a lot of times, yeah, I mean, I guess in compared to that other situation, that would be really bad. All right, Twiz1 says, since playing Guild Wars 2, I will never go back to paying a monthly fee. But games like SWTOR that go to a hybrid where you can play for free but take away basic features that you have to pay for anyways suck. I think if SWTOR had an option to turn credits into cartel coins like how Guild Wars 2 does to unlock features, that would make it easier to get back into it. yeah, kind of like an open market thing where people could get, kind of like how they do plexes and stuff, like where you can turn ISK into a plex and pay for your own thing, just like how in in Guild Wars 2, you can take the gems, or you can take your gold and turn it into gems, or buy gems based on whatever the actual like market says that they're worth, and that sort of thing would be really interesting. I'm actually surprised that they don't do that in SWTOR, because that would be really cool, and it would help sort of ease that feeling that you definitely need to pay money. It always is nice that if you're like a psycho and play a lot, for example in EVE, that you can make enough ISK to sort of subsidize and not actually have to pay money, while people who play less, you know, are kind of paying their subscription or paying for that and being able to get ISK or credit from their transactions. And it sort of creates a nice little thing. Wow, words. I'm not allowed to use them anymore. And finally, before I go, oh, did I say what my question was? Oh yeah, the question I wanted to ask you guys this week, since you guys are really awesome and you write really neat responses, I wanted to ask you, if you could create sort of like the perfect MMO, and you don't have to go into too much detail, you can take parts of the MMOs that you like or that we know about today and mush them together. Tell me what to you would be like the best MMO that you would play right now, hands down, no problems. But make sure you give me like, you know, how you'd pay for it. I want to know, you know, where that, like what kind of PvP, what kind of PvE it would have. For example, like if I were to create one, I would say something like, I really love the PvE in World of Warcraft because they've spent so much time, spitting again, they spent so much time coding it that they're able to have a lot of really interesting things that happen during their scripted encounters. But if I were to say PvP, I'd want it to be more like Dota 2 or EVE Online's PvP, where it's like, oh, those are two really different. Dota 2 is really fun. It's not even, I shouldn't even say that, but more like EVE Online's PvP, where you really can customize how you go into a situation, you can counter it, and also like it really depends, like you really have to pick your fights a lot of the times in that situation. I like that a lot. Also the sort of repercussions when you have the PvP, okay, well, repercussions when you die, being actually afraid, being actually having like, you know, something bad sort of happen. It feels like it's, you know, your death has impacted the world in some way. Or you killing somebody has impacted the world in some way. Or the universe that you're in. So anyway, let me know what kind of like game you would really like. What would be your perfect game? What the theme would be as well, like the aesthetics. Like maybe you're really into EVE PvP, but you're like, but I don't really want to be in space anymore. I'd like it to be in an aquatic, underwater BioShock type of thing or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm just giving you some ideas. Get creative. The best creativists in games that I would, well, not necessarily I would want to play, but things that I think that you guys put a lot of thought into and are awesome will be in next episode. So thank you so much for watching. Oh wait, before I go, I have one more thing that I need to tell you guys because, oh yeah, there's a full-time editor job at freetoplay.com if any of you are interested, but the catch is you have to speak both English and French fluently. I know, so all you French people out there, because I know there's tons of you who watch, if you're interested, yeah, head on over there and check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe, and if you did, like it. And yeah, have a good one. I'll see you next week. Ciao! Ciao.